Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Journeyman series here on Football Coach College Dynasty. This is episode 43, and I hope you popped the champagne because Alabama back to back national champions. Here is our postseason run. We beat our old friend Fresno State in the quarterfinal, beat number 4 OSU in the semis, and then defeated Notre Dame in overtime. Overall, very nice run. Had some competitive games also. Both of our former teams, Fresno State and Kent State, made the playoffs and won a game in the first round. That's a cool little story, something to write home about. But our business today is kind of an interesting one because while we are back to back champions and things are looking pretty good, our roster has been fairly depleted. If you did not watch last video, I'll give you the skinny. Essentially, we lost about 15 seniors to the draft, and we lost almost 20 players to the transfer portal. Now, the good news is we still have a lot of quality, especially defensive players. On our defensive line, we still have Leo Ball, Lawrence Mosley up top. Luke Parker did very, very well this season. Jorge Peters, same, but unfortunately, he might find himself lower on the depth chart next season. We have a handful of incoming defensive linemen, none of whom are going to play year one. Jacob Gulati, his tackling is a 70. Even if that goes up by, let's say, 5, I still don't love the idea of playing him. However, at the moment, we only have 5 defensive linemen, so he might be called into service. Juco Giovanni Blue, he might just play as a depth option. And then athlete Andre Stevens, we made the decision to have him be a defensive lineman as opposed to an offensive lineman, and I think that was the correct call. Linebacker. Linebacker, I like with a caveat at the end of that sentence. I like it because of who is coming in the transfer portal, hopefully, which I will get to after this. We still have Chandler Gordon up top, but we're retaining no one who got 40% of snaps or more. Chandler Gordon got 36% of snaps, Julius McNeil 32, Guadalupe Hill 29. That is it. Now, Julius McNeil had a great redshirt freshman season. I expect him to get a big development boost. Guadalupe Hale, I like, not really as a top 3 linebacker, but I like him. And then Chandler Gordon up top will be perfectly fine. Our depth, we're going to need good gains from Rohan Lewis, Michael Bonner, Joe Matthews, etc. Trevor Bush is coming in as a recruit. I am operating under the assumption he is going to play year one, probably as our 5th, maybe linebacker. Because even though I like the room, has some work to be done. We did also promise Guadalupe Hale 40% of snaps, same with Hudson Dalton, who redshirted last year. So we can't bring in that much in terms of great talent. Cornerbacks, on the one hand, Trevor Lucas and Daniel Payne are still here. On the other hand, no one else is here. We lost 4 cornerbacks to graduation. Damian Wade is definitely going to have an increased role. Eric Clemente is going to need to step up, but there is no help coming from the recruits. So that's definitely a transfer need for us as we begin. And then safety, we're perfectly fine. Paul Wilcox is going to be our number 1 guy. I had to promise him that we'll win the national championship for a 3rd straight year just to keep him here. Joel Bellamy and Trent Butler, those 2 will kind of fight for reps as the 2nd safety. And we have Gilberto Frank for some depth. Defensively, I think we're okay. We need another corner, and I would like another linebacker maybe to fill this gap between the mid 80s, high 70s. But other than that, I think we're okay. Offensively, we don't really have a quarterback at the moment. Obviously, with the departure, and I kind of skipped through this in the end of the video just for the purposes of time, but Anthony Burks declaring for the draft after 1 year, firstly, was very surprising, but secondly, it did kind of make our QB situation pretty obvious. I didn't really, because what I was going to do was simply cut Anthony Burks and let him start elsewhere for his last year of Juke eligibility. But listen, he threw for 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, got multiple awards, and just dipped for the draft. So fair enough. The downside of that is that the only QB on our roster that has ever gotten reps is Jesse Funk, who in his career with me, 2 years as a backup, has thrown just over 100 passes, and he's been fine, 58% completion percentage, 730 yards, a handful of touchdowns, nothing really to go crazy about. So the saving grace at QB is going to be Javier Augustine, who is a 5-star, number 1 overall recruit. There is a non-zero chance he has low 90s, mid 90s in every passing stat when he is a true freshman. He is going to be insane. It's a little unfair on Jesse Funk and Emmanuel Cole because these guys should be starters elsewhere in their own right, but they're loyal, so they didn't want to transfer, and I respect that. Running back, we're set. I mean, Jackson Conrad, he's going to be our number 1 back again. And then Aaron Middleton, Cesar Dixon are going to continue to be that 2-3 power back punch. Harrison Shaw is going to be involved a little bit. I did have to pay him $800,000 to keep him. So I have essentially paid about $2.3 million to a running back that not only has not taken a snap for me yet, but he's also next year going to be our 4th running back. So there is that. Wide receiver, in my opinion, is the best room we have. End of sentence. Marvin Wall got Freshman of the Year All-American awards. Carson Tam played very well last season, as did Avery Leonard. Francisco Askew, we redshirted, and then because he didn't like redshirting, I had to pay him $1.4 million to keep him. That was fun. So they are currently our top 4 guys, and then Hayden Banks, the true recruit, is going to come in here. He could have 100 catching by the time he steps on the field. So it's going to be Wall, then Banks, Tam, Leonard, and then Francisco at the 5 spot. A little unfair to Francis Mack, who I think is a pretty talented receiver with good speed, but needs must. Tight end. So tight end, I'm in a little bit of an awkward situation. Of all the promises I've made, Caden Polks is the one I regret, where I promised he would make 30% of snaps, i.e. be our backup tight end next year. But then I looked at the transfer portal, and let me tell you, a lot of tight ends want to come to play at Alabama because they know they'll get playing time. Tony Allison's going to be our starter. That's obvious. He has 90 catching, 100 blocking. He's set. Polk, I mean, he's not bad, but he's not very good. And he only has C- potential, so odds are he's not going to develop all that much. Like, there's an argument I should have made Kyle Westbrook the backup, for crying out loud. So, Caden Polk, I am operating on the assumption that I am going to essentially purposefully not satisfy his promise. He's not going to play that much. He's going to be our 3rd tight end and just take the 10 integrity hit. Offensive line, we're in a very weird situation because I am only retaining 1 offensive lineman who got more than 10% snaps next year. 1 guy, and that's redshirt junior Landon Haley, who's obviously going to be our number 1 guy. It should be noted that he is phenomenal, All-American, All-SEC, freshman of the year, etc. No one else in this room has a lot of experience. And two of them, Dylan Reynolds and Brody Jacobson, I had to promise 60% snaps to get them in the building. We do have JUCO offensive lineman Lance Davies coming in. He is very much a run blocker. His pass block is not good, and he only has C potential, so it might not get that much better. But I really need at least one, maybe two other offensive linemen to come here and help out because it's not that I'm worried about our offensive line, but again, I have one guy that got consistent snaps last year. So, and then kicker, obviously we have Abraham High. He won All American, All Freshman, SEC kicker, blah, 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 blah. He's going to be our starter until he probably declares for the draft a year early. And then we're bringing in Makai Curry just to be a backup kicker. So that is our squad. For those of you doing math at home, we only have 68 scholarship players right now, which means we need to bring in 17 players. Spoiler alert, I do not have 17 players on my list. I have 14. This was after spending probably 2 hours, which was too much time, going through transfers and then also recruits and any JUCO players left over just to try to build out our team's depth. And that led me to 14 names. So I'll get the boring stuff out of the way first. In terms of leftover recruits and JUCO guys, I've identified 4 players, one of whom is here for a hilarious reason, but Braylon Reed is a recruit safety. I might move him to corner. It'll depend on sort of how those rooms shakes out, but he's got decent tackling, decent zone coverage. He's not the slowest guy in the world. He does want to be a star, which could be a problem. Other than that, just I think a good depth option to have. Griffin Pearson, JUCO tight end. At this point, I just need bodies in the tight end room. I'm gonna have like 5 or 6 guys, and that's not even including red shirts. But Pearson will red shirt. He has A minus potential, which for JUCO you don't see that often. So hopefully he gets a big development gain, either initially or after his redshirt year. Corner Kendrick Bonner is, it must be said, not very good at defense. However, he has 79 speed and an evasion is probably low 70s also. That'll get you a long way. His coverage abilities aren't great, but again, he's here for depth and just a redshirt. And then Dustin Ball. So Dustin Ball is here for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to get some more Alabama guys in, and two, as kind of an experiment, I want to see what happens when you have a guy with low mid 70s ball skills and athleticism, but the worst potential ever. How do you develop? What's that look like? And so I'm going after Dustin Ball. He honestly might not be the worst running back in the world in like 2 years. And especially considering I'm definitely losing one running back next year, might be losing 2, could even lose 3 if Harrison Shaw wants to transfer. Bringing in someone like Ball may not be the worst idea. So these are the 4 recruits and JUCO guys. So that also means I have 10 transfers I'm looking at. Let me go through the 10. In order of just quality, linebacker Francisco Warren. Now, as I said before, I have a lot of linebackers that need to play, but I also have this big gap between like mid 80s and high 70s. Francisco Warren helps bridge that gap. He's a redshirt sophomore linebacker from Kentucky, where it looks like he was maybe a backup and then a starter last year, got 53 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. He was horrendous in coverage last year, it must be said. However, everything else he does really well. He's pretty quick for a linebacker. He's got great IQ, good block shedding, good tackling. I could maybe even move him to defensive line if he didn't weigh 234 pounds. He would get a big ratings nerf, and we just can't have that. So he's going to fill in at linebacker, probably be our 4th or 5th linebacker, if we're being frank. But there is a quality to him that I like. So getting him in the building, I think, would help a lot. And then we have offensive lineman Richard Jr. from Arkansas, Ivan Titus. He was originally at Iowa State, where he did pretty good. And then Arkansas last year didn't do all that hot. He had, and the I don't know why the AI does this, because in reality, a human wouldn't. In week 12, he suffered a major upper body injury. They played him the next week, and so it got upgraded to severe, and he missed 10 weeks. So that is that. He did give up 6 sacks last year, which isn't nothing, but I think he is good enough, well balanced, low 80s, strength and run block, pass block. I hope goes up by a bit. He'll kind of fill out that fifth, maybe sixth offensive line spot. He's not going to get all that much playing time, but the offensive line with some quality. Now, Donald Bolton, redshirt sophomore tight end question mark from Minnesota, where he just barely played. I mean, he had 6 targets last year for 27 yards. I am going to move him to offensive line. He weighs 252, so I think he's going to take a slight ratings nerf, but I don't care. His strength's in 84, run blocks in 87, pass blocks in 83. That's better than a lot of O linemen I have right now. So Bolton is going to move to O line, and him and Titus are probably going to compete for that fifth offensive line spot. Now, that brings me to the actual tight end I'm going for, Cade Long, who I discovered literally moments before I advanced the week last week. So, whoops, scrolled the wrong way. 91 catching, that'll play. Decent speed, decent strength, cannot block whatsoever. I'm not that worried about it because he's going to be our second tight end, and he's not going to be in, obviously, for a lot of our one tight end sets. He was a backup and then started last year at New Mexico, got 3 touchdowns, 274 yards. Only 1 drop, which honestly for tight ends is pretty good. I'm not in love with him. I think if the catching were worse, I'd probably pass, but 91 is just really good. And, he'll be a backup tight end this year, maybe a starter next year. I could do a lot worse. So that's Cade Long. And then another transfer running back, because I love me running backs that will inevitably complain after a year and transfer again. Ashton Weeks, redshirt freshman from Troy, barely played at Troy. His only carry this past year, -2 yards. He's got really good ball security. That's pretty much why he's here. 81 ball security, 72 pass block also. Not very athletic, that's okay. He's also from Tuscaloosa, so I'm bringing the guy home. But he'll help round out and probably be our 5th running back. And then a couple depth linebackers with okay potential. Roman Wallace, very good tackling, not much else. He'll just be depth. He'll barely play. Kyle McIntosh, who thankfully Boston College redshirted. Similarly, good tackling, good block shedding. If he were bigger, I'd move him to D line, but he redshirted. He's got A potential. Might as well take a shot. Lincoln McCoy. Now, this is just a fascinating player profile. Firstly, he's a redshirt sophomore. He did not play at FAU. Never touched the field. Never played. And you look at it and you're like, your eyes naturally gravitate to the 84 block shedding, 77 tackling, 74 pursuit. Which then begs the question, wait, how is he a 63 overall? Very simple. His strength is a 53. So I could move him to linebacker. He probably should be a linebacker, if we're being frank with this. However, part of me likes the idea of keeping him at defensive line and just seeing if he hit the weight room last year and his strength explodes. But this is just fascinating to me. And then another linebacker who redshirted not linebacker, offensive lineman who redshirted at Northern Illinois, Cash Hayes. I need pass blockers. And I accept the fact that his run blocking is a 54, and that's never going to be good. But I need to start building pass blocking into my depth. Cash Hayes, he already has a 70. He's got good potential. That'll sort itself out. Similarly, Tristan Olivares from Texas, redshirt freshman, did not play at Texas Tech. He's just, high mid 60s, A minus potential. Odds are he never sees a field here, but he could. So, all of those players have been paid their minimum value NIL money. As you can see, I still have 10.5 million left over. So, yeah. What I'm essentially going to do is advance this week here, see which battles are closest, and if I need to spend some more money, for example, to keep Georgia Tech away from Francisco Warren or North Texas away from Cade Long. So let us advance the week, see where things stand. All right, points ahead. All right, yeah, Georgia Tech put a really good pitch in for Warren. Yeah, the AI usually offer. Oh no! All right, Troy, if you want Dustin Ball that bad, to be fair, they should probably take him. We'll see. Okay. Um, if I lose Roman Wallace or Dustin Ball, honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. Let me give my best pitches to the transfers I care about, and then I'll just give the other ones to these guys. But genuinely, if I lose any of the recruits I'm going after, that's fine. I think the priority is those handful of transfers that will play immediately. Speaking of which, do I need to move the priority order? Cash Hayes can go ahead of those two. Yeah. All right. So that's 470, 470. I think I'm going to offer a little bit more money to Cade Long. I'm already at 6. So that's 700,000. That gets me 1.2 million. That gets me 1,000 point pitch. I highly doubt North Texas has an 1,800 pitch in them. So that should be okay. Francisco Warren, I might offer more money because Georgia Tech just offered 1.5. Georgia has yet to put money down, and we really, really need Warren. So if I up it to, let's say, 1.8, I'm just going to go flat 2 million. That should get me him because that means one of the Georgias would have to have like a 2,000 or better pitch. I doubt they have that in them. Kyle McIntosh, I might increase the offer just like by 200,000 because he did redshirt. He's got a potential. There's legitimate value there. Roman Wallace, if we get sniped on him, that's fine. Dustin Ball, if we get sniped, that's okay. Long and Warren, we should be safe now. Cash Hayes. Does Boiling Green. How much does Hayes care about money? I mean, very. I'll offer him just above market value because that'll get me an insane amount of points for him. No one else I think I'll touch. Okay. So, right now I have 3 scholarship spots open. Are there any transfers not on my target list that would want to come out? I mean, Wyatt Willard, who I looked at before, his strength is great. It's a 92. His pass block is a 62. And I mean, he's a redshirt junior. He's only going to get one more hit of potential. I don't think that's worth it, to be honest. Christopher Wilcox, a QB. I mean, surely he redshirted at MSU. Yeah, he redshirted at Mississippi State. He is a howitzer, 88 arm strength. But I mean, he'd be our third, not even, he'd be our fourth QB. And odds are he just transfer again. Joey Pruitt, 83 pass block already. 67 run block is a bit shaky. He was like a backup bench guy. C minus potential for 2 years. That actually I think is worth it. That does give me 3 new O linemen, which is a bit heavy. But I think we kind of need that. So here, let me offer him a scholarship. I'll offer him just 500,000 flat and get him a better pitch. I'll take away the pitch from Ashton Weeks. Give it to Pruitt. That gets me 1,300. That should be enough. I mean, that's a pretty good find. I mean, he's going to be a good pass blocker. And that does give me, on the O-line then, he's pass blocker focused. Titus is pass block. And Bolton is going to be just well-rounded. So this might drop Titus down to like the 7th O-lineman, which is a bit awkward, but we'll let that sort it out. Okay. So 17 spots. I got 15 names on here. I don't really care to search for 2 more guys, so let us advance to signing week and see how many we get. All right. We will start with the boring recruits because who cares? We know we're going to get them. And we got Ball by 81 points. Had Troy offered any money whatsoever, he would have been theirs. That's rough. All right. Let me just do some of the bottom depth guys first. Cash Hayes signs, Roman Wallace signs, Ashton Weeks in the building. We get McIntosh, we get Lincoln McCoy, and Tristan Oliveras. So all the depth guys are in the building. Let's look at the starters. First, Joey Pruitt, who we just found. Yep, got him. That was that. All right, tight end Cade Long, who we think is going to be a backup tight end for us. He joins. Yeah, North Texas offered money, but we had that the whole way. All right, Donald Bolton, who we're going to move to O-line. I don't know why these schools offered $1 million when they're already like 1,500 behind, but fair enough. Did Georgia Tech catch us for Francisco Warren? No, not only that, they got leapfrogged by Georgia. All right, so we get a new starting linebacker, and finally, Irvin Titus get in the building. Ole Miss offered $1 million, still didn't come close. All right, that's pretty good. So we get Titus, Pruitt, and Bolton to help out our O-line. We get Warren to help out linebacker, Cade Long to help out tight end, and then just all these guys for depth. Our recruiting class, let's see where we rank. Number 1. Our average rating did go down quite a bit because we signed 5 2-stars, but what do you want from me? For reference, Fresno State is 3. Is Kent State anywhere here? Top 50. That ain't bad for them. All right. Pretty good class. I think, obviously, the 3 highlights. Javier Augustine, number 1 QB, number 1 recruit. 5-star superstar Hayden Banks, number 2 overall, number 1 wide receiver. And then Trevor Bush, I think, at linebacker, the other superstar. I think those three, very good gets, without question. All right. And everything goes down. Let me resolve the debts. Do max available on all of our. I just want to call it facilities, but not facilities. What's even called up here? Just school updates. All facets. Let's go with facets. All right. Everything's maxed out. Let's just max NIL, and now we have 32 million left in the bank. You like to see it. We got every single donor goal, as is our want. Beating Auburn 66-0 was hilarious. I also completely kept my eye off the 35 total pass touchdown. I forgot that was a goal. But thankfully, hey, we got it. And then we lost 5 million for scheduling Michigan and Army, but that's small potatoes. Booster updates. Surely going back to back gets me a diamond donor. Surely. At least get one of the bronze out for like a gold or something. Man. I guess I have no bronze. I meant silver. Okay. So we're sticking 3 diamond, 4 gold, 2 silver. No changes for the boosters. I've never seen an inactive booster. But I guess I've also never lost prestige. Wait a minute. Did I lose prestige at Kent State? No. We didn't drop. Okay. Yeah, they dropped after I left. I couldn't recall, but now they're up to 6. They're doing good. All right, realignment. I have realignment disabled. I think every conference in every division is about how I like it. Um, I would maybe like if this were real life, I would Fresno State get out of there and put them in the Pac-10 or put them in the Big 12. Other than that, all good. Okay, schedule. So we still have a lot of. We have 4 outstanding contracts, and we don't have a lot of home conference games. We have Missouri, A&M, and Florida, but if I schedule recruits then, it's going to be the first visit, and I'm not going to get the second bonus. And then the only other conference home is Kentucky. So I think week 1 can be away, but week 6 needs to be at home. So that can be Army. And then I'll schedule someone else instead of North Carolina, and I'll keep Michigan. I think that's how I want to do it. So, who do I want to open against? Oregon, Florida State, also an option. I mean, at this point, the money doesn't matter. Like we're making 20, 30 million extra, so I can just schedule whomever. To be fair, but not a lot of schools want me to come to them, which is understandable. Do I open against Marshall and just beat them half to death? Feels a bit rude. I don't mind Oregon. I think Arizona. Yeah, because I also want a school that has a chance to get ranked to up our strength of schedule, and Arizona has that. So I think we open against Arizona, 3 home SEC games: Mizzou, A&M, Florida, at Vandy week 5, home to Army week 6, bye week, 3 straight away games: Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Home to Michigan week 11, home to Kentucky week 12, and then at Auburn to finish. That gives me 6 home, 6 away. Yep. And so now, in terms of outstanding out of conference contracts, we're satisfied Michigan and Army. And then we still have North Carolina, Fresno State, and then we're going to have Arizona obviously open. I think that's a fine schedule. I think it's definitely easier than last year, but I think the trade-off is I need more home out of conference games, especially in week 6 and week 11, and that's okay. So let us advance. And I think I'm going to keep everything as is. For reference, I still have transfer NIL penalties set to half, and I have battle rubber banding off. Let us advance to 2038. And immediately drop frames as it goes, you know. One thing I would like to see change, and the developer has announced that there's only going to be a couple major updates um, in the future before he switches focus to a pro football version of a football coach. One thing I would like to change is something in the preseason before the position changes screen. Like whether it's like an onboarding screen or something just to like give a team breakdown, even if it's just a version of like this my team page, like something there before the positional changes. Because when you start a save, also, the first thing you see is the position changes screen, and that to me feels a little weird. All right, positional changes. So first things first. Gilberto Frank, I am moving to corner because I mean he's our fourth corner immediately, and I think having one a really good tackler in there, but two a zone specialist because Wade, Payne, and Lucas are all man guys. I think that helps a lot, and that gives an avenue for like Edwin Hutchinson to play, which pretty good. Tight end, I have 8 tight ends right now. Do with that what you will. Donald Bolton, we are moving to linebacker. I know that his overall goes down, but in terms of pass blocking, like he'll be okay. Cool. Let me look at tight end again. Do I want to move any of these guys to wide receiver? Because wide receiver right now, one, two, three, four, five, six. Khan and Little John redshirt. That only gives me one wide receiver off the bench. I think I'm gonna move. I think I'm gonna move Kyle Westbrook to wide receiver. And my argument is he might play at wide receiver, and he gives me a good backup option since I'm redshirting a couple guys. Whereas at tight end, he would just never play. So tight end, Allison, Long, Polk, Hillard, Downs, Pure Person, all redshirt. Cool. Any D lineman that should be moved to linebacker? Where's Lincoln? Lincoln McKay. Yeah, I mean his overall goes up by so much. He goes up to a 68 linebacker. So I think we have to make that change. Did the AI? No, the AI started him at D line. Okay. So I don't know if the AI does positional changes. That's not something I've ever looked into. But listen, I mean, Lincoln McCoy is going to be here for a year, so I might as well throw him at linebacker in case he plays. I'm so much happier about this group now. All right. So I believe that's everything. A lot of the running backs would make good wide receivers, but honestly, Nah, I mean, if I move Harrison Shaw to wide receiver, he's going to be like below Mac. Nah, no, no, no. That would be kind of a funny idea. Okay, that is the room, I believe. So those are the changes. Now, off-season games. I think three positions we need to see something. First, corner, especially these guys like Clemente, Yoder, and Strickland, probably, who are going to really play in a year or two. I need to see big games from them. Wide receiver would be nice because I'm going to be playing a lot of young guys. Carson Tam, is the elder statesman, and he is a junior. So a lot of these guys, I mean, if they hit good development, we're going to be going to the moon. And then, Javier, if you just want to get a nice, like, 8-point boost to one of your passing abilities, wouldn't hate it. So let us advance the week and watch the frames drop. Off-season game time. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Sorry. I just saw one number down there. It's like, we're cooking with gas. All right. QB, hit me. Now, redshirting Javier would be the worst decision ever, right? Yeah, yeah. Because if I redshirt him, he declares for the draft after next year, and I only got 1 year out of him. But Jesse is an 89 overall, man. He isn't. I should have cut him. I should have cut him and let him go start somewhere his senior year. Oh, that's look at him, man. He's got 89 arm strength, 94 accuracy now. His speed's almost at 100. His strength is a 99. This is so unfair. This hurts me to do to Jesse. Even Emmanuel Cole is like great. What a world. Also, Dakota Ferreira's not only did his potential go down, his accuracy went down. So we're just gonna leave that there. Oh, this is so unfair to Jesse. I am upset. Running back. Harrison, you say you want to play +1. Your speed didn't move. Whatever. 6 for Conrad, which is good. Yeah. His speed's 100. Ball carrier vision's 107. Caesar, good speed. Blocking got a little bit better too. Yeah, I think Middleton's going to be the 3. Dixon's back to being the 2nd, and then Conrad at 1. Harrison depth. Ooh, Dylan White +4, +6 ball security, 9 evasion. We could have something here. The speed needs to get better. It's just now a 70, but we could have something here. Dustin Ball +1, but his potential increased. Do you see the vision? All right, wide receiver. Oh no. I mean, the first thing I saw was that Mac jumped Francisco, which, gonna be honest, buddy, I wrote you a check for 1.5 million, and this is your reward. Come on. Carson Tam going up by 4 is pretty good. I think, I mean, he has 100 speed. Banks might be my third. Banks might end up being my third wide receiver. Avery Leonard, really good, plus sixes, catching speed. Mac, his route running is finally respectable, 77. Askew, man, his speed only went up by 2, is catching up by 4. Kyle Westbrook in his move to wide receiver got a +8 pass block. +3s, +4s. All good. Only a +1 for Lance Kahn with A plus potential. That's legitimately surprising. I don't get surprised by a lot of things this game. That's surprising. He has A plus potential. None of his athleticism stats move. His catching doesn't move. That's interesting. All right, I mean, a little awkward. I mean, Askew only getting +2 is bad. But other than that, I think we're okay. Tight end. Oh, it's Tony Allison in a dream, really. His strength went up by 13. My God. 93 catching. Cade Long, much better run blocker now. Good catching also. I mean, Caden Polk's not ready to play. Maybe I go down to 3 tight ends. But this is the last year I'm gonna have Allison. I want him to do well. Ian Hillard's going to become pretty good. He's going to red shirt. Downs is going to red shirt. Personal red shirt. Yeah, okay. I think accepting the fact that we're going to lose Polk might just be the easiest. O-line. Holy. Okay. So, remember me moving Bolton to O-line and getting Pruitt in the transfers? Right now, they're not starting O-linemen. Oh my. 9s for Jacobson and Titus, 8 for Craig, 7 Roberson, 6 for Wesley and Davies. Double-digit gains in blocking for Jacobson, plus 16 pass blocking for Titus. Lance Davies, the JUCO guy, goes up by 4. Do I redshirt him? No, he'll threaten to transfer. Come on. He is loyal. How many seniors do I have at O-line? Haley, Titus, Wesley, Craig's the only other junior. Oh, and Bolton. Oh my. I mean, that's clap it in. Hayes, for those keeping track at home, plus 6 run block, 1 pass block. Olivares, his pass block got worse. Do I redshirt Lance Davies? I think I'm going to start with him redshirted. If he threatens to transfer, I'll throw him in the lineup. I think that's what I'm going to do. Dylan Reynolds, +3. His strength went down. Really? You redshirted? Your strength went down? Get in the weight room, buddy. Kicker! Abraham goes up by 5. Kick power up by 5. Accuracy up by 6. Perfect. Ooh! And Curry, our backup kicker, his potential increases. Okay, that's not nothing. D-line. Ooh. Oh, man, if any of our top 3 get injured, we are in so much trouble. All right, so Leo Ball up to a 95, Jorge Peters 88, Mosley 87. I mean, Ball's definitely number 1. Peters and Mosley might fight for that second spot. Parker at 4 is pretty good. Jacob Gulati, I mean, I think he's going to play as a true freshman. He's going to be our 5th D lineman. Yeah, and then Darian Pitts will round out the starters. Richmond, Stevens, red shirts, Blue. Blue will play his first JUCO year. I think this was probably a bad. The negative of moving the D lineman McKoy to linebacker is now I have essentially no D line depth. I could go down to 5 D linemen, but I don't quite know if I want to do that. I'm again trying to figure out why the AI gave this guy with 69 overall and D plus potential a check for 1.2 million. But that's beside the point. But no, D line looks really good. Happy with that. Jacob Gulati, I think, just needs to play out of necessity. Linebacker. Okay, the depth got better. Bonner 5, Matthews up by 6. Pretty good. Lincoln McCoy up by 3 for what it's worth. So yeah, I mean Gordon's definitely 1. Warren, Hale can fight for 2. Dalton is going to have to leapfrog some people. But yeah, I mean this is our 6. It's just the order is TBD, but this is our 6. Gordon, Warren, and Hale I think are going to be our top 3. That'll make Dalton 4. Bush, McNeil. Very harsh on McNeil that he's going to be our last linebacker again. But hey, I mean, Joe Matthews up by 6. That's not nothing. Bradley Adams looks like he's going to be a really good linebacker for us to recruit. But yeah, I should have moved one of these guys to D line just to help the depth. Corner. Okay. I mean, it's not bad. Not good. It's not bad. You know, Daniel Payne up by 6 is nice. His zone didn't move all that much. Trevor Lucas, my God. Is he the best corner in the world? Potentially. Gilberto Frank, after moving to corner, his coverage didn't get that much better, but his IQ went up by 8 and his speed went up by 7. That's huge. Eric Clemente then looks like going to be our 5th guy, though maybe Donovan Yoder. If I want a guy who's more zone, yeah, that'll be zone versus man conversation. Mateo Little, I mean, his overall went up by 4. His potential went down. Moses Strickland got a big IQ boost. Okay. Oh, Kendrick Bonner. Oh no. He's not going to be good. That's fine. Safety. Ooh, Hutchinson with a +6. 8 to man, 7 to zone, 7 tackling, 14 strength. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think Wilcox 1, and then Butler, I think, is going to be 2 over Bellamy. Because Bellamy was also pretty bad in coverage last year. Roberson, his potential went down 2 levels. It went down from a B minus to a C. That's a bit worrisome. Braden Reed, his potential also went down 2 levels. Okay, so our succession plan at safety is now a little ugly. Good news is if Hutchinson complains about playing time, I can promise him more playing time next year because Wilcox and Bellamy will be gone. So, in terms of gains, we had a handful of 9s, a couple 8s, a 7, lots of 6s, which is good. No one got 0s. Lance Kahn only going up by 1, that confuses me a bit. This is the only one I look at and I'm like, how did the RNG do that? But I think overall pretty good. Overall pretty good. Let's advance. Game plan install. So we have the same defensive coordinator, Kyler Cruz. He was here my last year at Fresno. He's been here when I was at Bama. And then Ahmad Rubio. We have a new offensive coordinator, previously at Sam Houston State and at Liberty, where he is now joining us. I am then going to change from pass first back to run first in terms of scheme. In terms of play calling itself, I think we're going to go more pass, but just to get the boosts, we'll switch back to run first. as is our want. In terms of pass targets, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't really want to change too much. I think Allison is going to be three. The top two can just be auto. Roster, we're looking pretty good. Pass pro is our worst thing, and then we're not a great punting team, but how often do I punt anyway? I feel like I just jinxed this. Yes. All right. Getting on to the spring. All right, first things first, let's figure out this depth chart. I am so sorry, Jesse. Javier's one. This pains me. I'm sitting an 89 overall QB on the bench. Because my fear with redshirting Javier is he would just you just declare for the draft after like 2 seasons. I only get to play him for one. Like that's my big fear. All right, Dylan White and Dustin Ball redshirt at running back. Conrad 1, Dixon 2, Middleton 3. I think is the move. Short yardage back. I don't think I want to designate. Dixon was that a couple years ago, and he did really well. But I think with Conrad getting a big strength boost, I'm honestly okay to just leave it. Let the AI figure it out. Wide receiver. Okay, so this could get interesting. I moved up to 6 last season. Do I stay at 6 or do I drop to 5? That's the question. All right, let's sort out the top first. So I think honestly, Carson Tam at 1. I'm getting much faster, better catcher, I think is the move. Marvin Wall at 2 or I mean, Banks is really good. But Wall is also coming off like freshman of the year, all these accolades. He'll be 2. Banks is 3. All right. Now comes the interesting part. I think Avery Leonard at 4 makes sense. I'm taking a bit of hit at speed, but he's the best pure pass catcher of the bottom group. Westbrook versus Askew. They are almost identical players. I mean, yeah, like Mac is just better. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has 2 targets. He's just better. I think what I'll do is I'll keep Askew at 6. If he complains about playing time, I might move some stuff up and down. Tight end. I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to accept the fact that I'm going to take the integrity hit here. I'm going to drop to 2 tight ends. Polk can cry about it. That's fine. How many player promises do I have this time around? 8 again. Yeah, and almost all of them are snap based, which is surely not going to come back to bite me. But yeah, like right now, this is how I envision the tight end room. Like Allison, Long, Polk off the bench, these 3 redshirt. O line. Okay. So this is gonna suck. Let's just acknowledge that. Let that sentence marinate. This is gonna suck. Okay. So Landon Haley up top, obviously. Third spot, I think I need to prioritize pass blocking, which brings me to Titus at 2, Reynolds at 3. Yes. Okay. Jacobson versus Davies. Well, the other question is, do I redshirt Davies? No, 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 no. Davies or Jacobson? Do I take the strength? I'm going to take the strength and lose a little bit of blocking skill. Davies at 4, Jacobson at 5. I like. All right, so that's my starting O line. That's my 5. Haley, Titus, Reynolds, Davies, Jacobson. Okay. 6, Bolton. Man, should it be Bolton over? Like this is why the yeah, this is why the promise I made to Jacobson kind of comes back here. But I think Bolton 6. I think he should be 5 though. But I don't think Jacobson gets 60. Or maybe I do this. Maybe I do Bolton 4, Jacobson 5, Davies 6. I'm okay with that. Okay, and now Craig 7. Yes. So Wesley, Roberson, or Pruitt? Or Mosley for that last spot. Hmm. How did Wesley do last year? He's done pretty well. Roberson, I don't think played at all. No. So I did pay him more money to keep him. I think I'm going to go Roberson. This is harsh on Wesley. It also makes me transferring in Joey Pruitt look a little silly, but that is what it is. I didn't expect to get insane gains on O line like I did. So I think our top 5: Haley, Titus, Reynolds, Bolton, Jacobson, Davies at 6, Craig 7, Roberson 8. Actually, I'm going to do the same thing with Davies that I did, or maybe it was Davies that I said that for. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to redshirt Davies, and if he complains about playing time after like 3 weeks, I'll send him in. But I think my O line will be okay. My back end O line, because Wesley honestly is perfectly fine as an 8. So I think we're gonna try that. It may backfire, but we're gonna try that. D line. So yeah, Leo Ball is 1, obviously. Peters over Mosley. I think that is fine. The amount of money I paid these guys is crazy. Mosley 3, yes. Parker 4, yes. Jacob Gulati at 5. And then Richmond red shirts. Do I go down to 5 D linemen? Or do I play Pitts? I think I'm gonna go down to 5. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna go down to 5. I don't really care about Giovanni Blue losing a year of eligibility. Because we got like Richmond and Stevens that they'll be ready next year. So I think we roll with 5. I think Gulati having only 76 tackling is a bit awkward, but he's got much better strength than Pitts and Blue, better block shedder. I think that's fine. Linebacker. All right, so this is the group where I think the playing time promises are going to come back to bite me more than anything else. I think Gordon has to be 1, McNeil has to be 6. Everything else, may need to shift. Um, like literally, I think this. Like Gordon 1, Warren 2, Hale 3, Hudson Dalton 4. I don't know if he'll get 40% of snaps at 4, but we'll find out. Bush 5, McNeil 6. And then Joe Matthews off the bench. I think that's okay. We don't have a lot of zone cover. We don't have any zone coverage guys after like Bush. Yeah, because Gordon's great at it, as is Hale. Warren and Bush are okay. That's it. So that could be an issue. All right, corner. I mean, this is probably the easiest. We're just going to redshirt our 3 recruits. And then Lucas up top, obviously. I'll have to check to see if he has the highest overall of the players right now. Payne 2, yeah. Wade 3, yes. I think over Frank. Even though I like Frank's 93 zone, I think Wade also needs 40% snaps. Eric Clemente or Yoder? What do I want to do? How is Clemente's... He was targeted twice. I think Clemente will be our 5th to start, but if I notice he's getting targeted a lot, then I think I'll swap him with Donovan. I like Donovan, don't get me wrong. But he also can't tackle, which is a problem. And then safety. So I'm going to drop back to 3 safeties. My argument being, even if Hutchinson complains and wants to transfer, I can promise him more playing time because Wilcox and Bellamy are going to graduate. And then I think I put my big tacklers up top in Wilcox and Butler. Bellamy can be 3, who even though he's so good in coverage, he allowed 70% completions against him last year. So that we do kind of need to fix. And then Butler too. I think next year we won't even need to bring in any more safeties. It'll be Butler 1, Hutchinson 2, and then one of Roberson or Reed at 3. And I think we just roll with that. Kicker, obviously, Abraham. Punter is the same. Return specialist now. We do need a new one. Who do I want? I think it's Carson Tam. I think I give it to Tam. That gives me a slightly more vision. Ball carrier vision is obviously worse, but I think I'll still take him over Conrad. So that's my depth chart. I think areas of concern, without question, if any of my top, 3 or 4 D linemen get injured, we're in deep trouble. There is a non-zero chance that a lot of my playing time guys don't get their playing time to open the season. And so I kind of have to move a lot of stuff around to facilitate that. I am hoping beyond hope that Lance Davies is so loyal that even though he was the best JUCO guy in the country, he will let me redshirt him. However, if he doesn't, then I just slide him back as the 5th or 6th O lineman, and then Wesley just drops out of the rotation. I think that's fine. I also just feel bad about an 89 overall QB being my backup. Hindsight being 2020, I should have cut him after the end of last season just to let him start elsewhere. But that is what it is. I do want to check one quick thing from last year's team to see, like, where did Patrick Hobson end up? South Carolina. That's a fun one. And then D-line. Felipe Grant, Texas Tech. Oh, he had a great development hit. Oh, that's so annoying. Barely developed when he was here with me, and once he leaves, he explodes. Yeah, that one I think is the miss for the guys that I let walk, but that is what it is, I think. Okay, so all of that being said, let's look at our team. So we have 40% of our roster are freshmen, only 15% are seniors. However, 41% of my starters are seniors. So, and this next, we've established we need to bring in a full recruiting class, 25 players. We need to do it just because of how many guys will want to transfer every year. I think big position of need is tight end, as I am operating under the assumption that Allison is going to graduate, Polk will want to transfer. That gives me zero options behind him. And both Hillard and Downs want to be stars, so they may also transfer. So I think tight end definitely. Offensive line, it's always a need. Doesn't matter how good your room is or how many guys you got. Like, you know, on O line, I have 7 of my top 8 are going to be gone. So that's definitely a need. Defensive line, I think so, just because we don't really have a lot of depth. We're going to need to facilitate that a little bit. Linebacker, our depth just isn't good. So that is a decent problem. Corner, we're fine. Safety, I think we're fine. So really, we only have 4 needs: tight end, O-line, D-line, linebacker. My fear, like, if Javier goes to the draft after 1 year, though I think I have the setting where they declare after 2. Draft eligibility, minimum 3 years. Hmm. Hmm. And Javier is loyal. No, no. I think I still play him over Jesse. Which again, it's harsh on Jesse, but I think 3 years of Javier playing is better than me getting 2 years with 1 extra development period before he plays. That would be my argument. Okay. Let me auto the practices and auto assign the trainings. Recruiting. Give me the recommended targets. Who wants to come here? Oh boy. Didn't you get the clue? Safety, I don't need you. Wow. Just got him once. I mean, I can put him at corner. I can put him at safety, sure. Shane Willem at D line. Why does your tackling have to be a D? I want to see that tackling number, and they're not showing it to me. Wow, they're still not showing it to me. 75. Okay, fine. Get in the building. Gage Dillon, Juco corner. Juco corner is literally the one thing I do not need because of how young my guys at the top are. That said, this guy looks pretty good, but no. Abel Shepard, another D lineman. Your potential is terrible. I'll let the other schools fight for you. Maximiliano Armstrong has a great name. He doesn't look half bad. He wants to be a star, though, which means I don't know if I'd get away redshirting him. I'll pass for now, but I might double back. Yep, there we go. Colton Lester. That's the one. 88 tackling as a recruit. Come on. Come on. Don't need wide receivers. Do not tempt me. I have enough of them already. Though I might look at a wide receiver in terms of just like back end depth that I need to redshirt. Other than that, I can't touch wide receiver realistically. I do want to look at a coverage linebacker specifically. I know I roasted Maximiliano. He's not terrible in coverage. Colton knows much better. But I think linebacker definitely need to focus on coverage. Well, that is a 97 ball carrier vision, 92 ball security as a recruit. What is his speed? Wow. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that behold. I love how it kept saying like I think it was like C or C minus. It was like, well, what is it? Plot twist in 87. Yeah, C minus. It showed up as a C minus before I recruited him. Yep, there's our running back. Done. No need to invest. Also, have I seen no alignment yet? I have seen no alignment yet. That is a bad sign for the class. Ooh. And, I mean, the pass block is terrible, but he's got A minus potential and he's loyal. That might be worth a stab. Tight end, I don't really want to touch. I'll add Noe Pace to the list. Spencer Crow. I don't really need a JUCO lineman, but I'll add him to the target list just so I can naturally scout him a little bit. Connor Boyd, I'll add. Those will be the guys I'll send to camp visits probably. Ooh, this is an athlete. The AI put him by default at O line. Looks like that's correct, but he doesn't look very good. A kicker from Akron, Ohio, and Akron isn't even on your list of 5. How dare you? 71 accuracy, 63 IQ. Some school's going to spend $1 million on you and you're going to suck. Ooh, Wilkerson could be okay. B minus strength, decent tackling. Yeah, the list really fell off, didn't it? Okay, so that was like what, 9 guys? So, I mean, there's the 5 stars that I'm chasing right there. I'm definitely going to send. I mean, I might as well just send all of them to camp so I get the biggest boost I can. So in terms of needs, that got me still no tight end, but I got O line, I got D line, I got linebacker, I got a wide receiver. So let me look at I think tight ends. JUCO guys, really? What part of I don't need a JUCO do you not understand? But you know what? Fine. I'll add the JUCO guys to the list and then pray, essentially. Then again, JUCO tight end might be the thing I need, especially if I operate under the assumption that I'm going to lose Polk. All right, now let me look at coverage, guys. C minus zone, C minus zone, C zone. I mean, odds are I don't actually sign them, but I just want to get a gauge on what the zone coverage is looking like. Ooh, Tucker Brantley. May not be that bad. All right. So that gets me up to 17. I'll let Carson attend to camp, and everyone else can just get the best pitch that I can give them. I think one thing I do to do, whereas the last 2 years, my recruiting classes were a little bit smaller. This year, I need to get the max of 25 just to put bodies onto my team. Right now, I'm at 17, and that's with 5 linebackers on the list. So, points ahead. How far ahead? 1,800. Fair enough.
All right.
I have enough linebackers. Let me look at corner. Let's see what we got. Raymond Jenkins could be something. But yeah, not a lot of zone specialists, which, to be fair, not all that surprising. The AI usually spits out a lot of corner or man coverage speed guys. So I think that'll be my list to open. And then just gotta figure out the rest, really. All right, let me advance the week. All right, and then I think I'm going to stop the video there. It's going to be a little shorter video, just under an hour and a half. But I want to see if that if that changes anything in terms of views and engagement. But also, I'll do the rest of this recruiting off stream, and then next video we will open the 2038 season and go from there. I'm pretty excited. I mean, the idea of going from back-to-back natties to having a true freshman at starting QB is, pretty much having your cake and eating it too. But we'll see how that progress goes. Thank you all for watching. Especially appreciate it since it's been about a week since my last stream and upload. Thank you for sticking with me, and we'll be back next time where we will begin the 2038 season and try once again to have a fully undefeated year. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.